Hello, and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we're back at the aftermath of the Battle of Helm's Deep. We can technically talk to Gandalf now and start the book 14, but we have also gotten a letter from him. This is just a reminder of where you need to go to resume the epic, but let us check this nonetheless. The Battle of the Hornburg is over, my friend. Come find me after sunrise on the field of victory at Helm's Deep. In the fortress of the Hornburg, interact with the banner and you will be taken to the correct time of day, at which point we can speak. Just a reminder, a lot of people forgot where to find Gandalf, but luckily we are already here.
Now we must look to the future.
The battle is won, my friend, and now we must look to the future. The design of Saruman has been ruined, not by any spell or magic, but by the stout hearts of the Rohirrim and the swift speed of Shadowfax. Gandalf notices your study of the curious trees beyond the dike. Ah, that forest is no magic of mine, Beriathan. A power much older than my own drives it to be here, and I could not have hoped for a more timely arrival than this. He hands you a number of healing poultices. Before we can proceed, we must attend to the hurts of those injured during the battle. These poultices will bring them some measure of relief. Speak with the king and see if he has need of such treatment, and then do what you can for the wounded. Théoden, you might remember, is not too far. Here we have Kenric, in case you want to repeat the storytells, well, in case you didn't do them, you can talk to him and do them right now. Otherwise, they will be available for you at the reflecting pool.
We have seen victory this day, but our work is not ended.
We have earned a brief respite only and must take steps to ensure the safety of the mark without much pause. The king sees the bundle of poultices in your hands and shakes his head. I am fine, Beriathan. I have suffered bruises only, and the strength of my fathers has kept me from sustaining grievous injury. Many of my men will have need of that healing. Bring those packets to them and see to their hurts. Look too for men with swift horses and command them to ride for all corners of the mark with news of what happened at the Hornburg. I want every vale in the Riddermark to have tidings of our victory and to send their strongest fighters to Edoras by the second day of the full moon. After you have exhausted the poultices and the riders have set forth, find Erkenbrand and give him my thanks for his timely arrival. Without his men, the sun might have arisen on a different day for Rohan. I will bring Théoden's command throughout this Rohan. Very well. I will be fine without this healing. Bring it to men who need more than I. Okay, so he will not take it. Very well. Thank you very much for the treatment. What about you? Will you ride? I am sorry, but my horse is not swift enough for this message. Okay. Music is really cool though. Just taking my time to take a good listen to it. So as you see, some men don't have swift enough horses, which is a shame. But we're almost done with this. No, you will not take it? Okay. Seriously, who else do I need to ask? Thank you. You will ride at once. My hurts are more improved. And luckily we are here right next to Erkenbrand.
We have wrested victory from the very claw of Saruman.
This is a proud day for the riders of the mark, Beriathan. We have wrested victory from the very claw of Saruman, even as he thought his triumph assured. The House of Ferrell is stronger than he supposed, despite Thrice's curse word and the whispers of frailty that have been uttered throughout the mark. Théoden King has fighting him still, as does his sister son Eomer. Erkenbrand strikes his shield with the side of his sword and cries, "Victory for the Eorlingas!" A cry that is answered from others of the Rohirrim throughout the field. After a moment he turns again to you with a smile. "We have put the downlandings to work, Beriathan, hauling away the bodies of the orcs and cleaning the field of battle. Any who take a solemn vow not to cross the fords in war ever again will have the forgiveness of our king."
It will be a few hours before we ride for the Ring of Isengard and its evil master.
Gandalf has decided to ride to Isengard to confront Saruman, and my uncle has determined he should ride with him. Some others will go as well, but first we have need of rest. It will be a few hours before we ride for the Ring of Isengard and its evil master, and all of us toil greatly during the night. Find their wine inside the Hermberg. He has begun to arrange bedrolls for those seeking the rest for the journey. Alrighty. So yeah, once again take a look at what the poor deep, the destruction wrought by Saruman. The victory over Rohirrim. Okay. Back to the Hermberg erase. Yeah, that's just Kenrick over there. You might have also noticed, I did some tinkering around with my legendary items. I took advantage of the symbol that I got after finishing the epic, and also the symbol that I got as loot from one of the epic battles, and I crafted myself 2 Second Age symbols level 95. Some people might not bother with them, seeing as how close we are to level 100 and imbued items, but well, I thought I already have them, so why not? Who we have here? Cleowine.
I will tell you the tale of Hama's heroic stand, if you will hear it.
This day brings a new dawn for Rohan, but not without cost, Beriathan. Many friends and kinsmen came to their ends during the long night on the wall, and it is the minstrel's sad duty to remember their names and their tales. Hama, the doorward of Théoden, fell before the Hermberg. Without his valiant efforts, the gate would surely have been breached, and the king slain before he could ride to victory. I will tell you the tale of Hama's heroic stand, if you will hear it. We were kinda there when Hama promised to keep Théoden's door, but let's see what else happened. Because we were not there to see Hama's end. So yeah, let us let Cleowine tell us what happened exactly.
Dawn had not yet come. Orcs streamed into the gatehouse, eager to spill the blood of Théoden. One man stood in their path, Hama, the doorward of Théoden.
Here they come. Okay, so we have one AoE, it seems, and one single target. And for whatever reason, my hotkeys are not working. Yeah, my keyboard is not working inside this instance. That can happen sometimes. The game bugging out like this. Okay, draw upon reserves of strength by focusing on the glory of Rohan? Yeah, but first... we're guarding this door so nobody will enter, but...
Hama thought of the glory of Rohan and his strength was renewed.
Let him come. We are not done yet. Oh, come on. This glitch is gonna be the end of me. More of them come. More of them? Even more of them? Okay, yeah. The House of Errol.
Hama thought of the House of Aor, and his strength was renewed.
And of course more orcs are coming, so... Come over, come over. And now Talendings. And more orcs.
His back to the door and prepared for the end.
Okay, Hama's father.
I will not retreat from here the tread of a single foot, he cried aloud. A doorward I was, he shouted, and a doorward I remain. Even as he fell, he heard the horn of Helm echo in the deep. Forth the Erolingus, ride to victory!
Alright, there we have it. So that was Hama's End. A really short interlude, but a very juicy one. And I do enjoy that one a lot. Especially because by the time this was released, you gotta keep in mind that only the epic battles were available for the epic, so we didn't get to see that exchange between Hama and Théoden in the story tale for a long while. This interlude, I believe, was released. I'm not sure if it was part of the release of Helm's Deep or if it was released with update 13. In any case, there is at least an 8-year gap in between this and the release of the story tale. So for a long while, this was the only way of seeing what happened to Hama.
And so passed Hama, the doorward of Théoden.
Without him, the gate, and perhaps the kingdom itself, would now be broken. Do not forget him. I know that Théoden King will not. He served the king faithfully for many years, even with his death. Well, let me talk to Théoden first, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna get another chance of doing so. Okay, and these soldiers, for whatever reason, all of them have respawned, even though we just need to talk to Derwine in the Herberg. But anyway, first let us talk to Théoden here.
I will see to it that Hama will not be forgotten.
I know what this victory cost us, Beriathan. Many good men, children of Rohan all. They fought to defend their people, and I will remember their valiant deeds. But one loss will loom more large in my mind than the rest, for Hama, son of Leoford, was more than the doorward of my hall. He served me faithfully for many years, but he did not do so blindly. When I succumbed to the whisperings of Grima Wormtongue and only Gandalf could restore me to my senses, it was Hama that weighed the wizard's wish against my own command. And though he was sworn to uphold my word, Hama was a true man of Rohan and made the judgment he deemed necessary. It was disobedience but in service of the kingdom, and I both forgive and am proud of him. He gave his life before the Hernberg, and without his sacrifice, we could not have had victory this day. I will see to it that Hama will not be forgotten. That's very noble of you, Théoden King. Now, we have once again the chance of upgrading our shield. Let us see. Let us see how we do with this shield. Now, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm tracking all the legendary items that I have. Gotta get me some more to level up. Just a moment. Oh, I forgot. I got this virtue XP from the Hobbit present. So let us get that. 200 virtue XP. Very good for a Hobbit present. A critical defense, agility, vitality. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the shield that we just got. Just gotta get inside the keep. There we go. So I think we hadn't had the chance of visiting this keep yet. As you can see, well, it's very similar to the other meat holes in Rohan. It does have the tapestries, Erkenbrand's seat, and of course, Helm's gotta be at the center of this location. It has his name after all.
We spoke yesterday, do you remember?
We spoke yesterday around sunset, do you remember? It feels a lifetime ago, Beriathan. I do remember, yes.
Speak to me if you are ready, and I will prepare a place for you.
The king and some others of his guard plan to ride for Isengard, but first they will take some hours rest. You should do so as well, Beriathan. Speak to me if you are ready and I will prepare a place for you. Yeah, please.
I will show you to a quiet corner of the keep where you can rest.
And then it is my understanding that you will set forth with the king for Isengard. Yeah, that's true.
After a short rest, the company sets out for Isengard and finds the road greatly changed.
Yeah, we got some unfinished business in Isengard, so of course I'm coming. I hope you found rest before we set out, Beriathan. I tried to do so, but I could not quiet my roving mind, and I am still greatly fatigued. What will we find in Isengard? Aragorn looks from side to side at the towering trunks of the forest. These trees were not here when we arrived at Helm's Deep yesterday. I think we both know what brought them here to the foot of the dike, but that makes it no less frightening a sight, does it? Do you sense it, Beriathan? A presence watches us from among the trees. I do not think the trees bears us any ill will, Aragorn. I hope you're right, Gandalf. I do not feel welcome among the trees. Well, we should not stray from the path, at any rate. You do not need to worry about that, Gandalf. Legolas, why are you stopping? What's going on, Legolas? Everything alright? Beriathan, wait. Do you hear that? I hear a great sound of cracking timbers and rustling branches. It comes this way. Legolas, what are you doing? Come back! Look, among the trees. What are those creatures? They are Ents, Théoden King, shepherds of the forest. Have you forgotten the tales of your youth? I never believed I would see such things, Beriathan. Ents! I am filled with wonder at the sight, wonder of a kind I thought was the soul reserved for children. I am an old man, a white beard of many winters, and still I have seen things this day I would not have believed yesterday. They tower above mortal men and cover such a span with each stride. What damage they could do to the homes of my people if that was their thought, but I do not believe that is their desire. Now you understand the meaning of this forest, Beriathan. Gandalf? Sorry. I give nary a thought to the Ents, not since I was a boy. Remain with us, Beriathan, for the safety of all. Why would they help us now? You have more allies than you supposed, Théoden King. Even among those you deem no more than legend. These Ents are herdsmen, not warriors. The people of Rohan need not fear them as long as they cause no harm to their flock. There is one in this land that would have done well to hit the Ents before now. If he had hidden them, the battle that it lately ended might have come to a different conclusion. It is good for Rohan and for all free folk that he did not take them into account. Let us proceed, Beriathan. There are still many miles to go before we reach Isengard. The Fords of Isen are a sad reminder of the good folk who fell in defense of Rohan. Many good men fell at the forts, but their kingdom still stands. We are almost to Isengard and will bring report of their valiant sacrifice to the wizard who forced its need. Let us rejoin our companions, Beriathan. You do not want them to deal with Saruman before we arrive, do you, Beriathan? Do you hear that? A horseman approaches from behind us, and at great speed. I hear the sound of swift hoofbeats approaching from behind us. Let us confront this rider before he overtakes us and offers some harm to the king. Ride with me, Beriathan, and we will learn if he be friend or foe. Halt! Who rides to Rohan? Rohan, you say? That is the land we seek, and with haste. Rohan is ruled by Théoden King, and none enter that land without his leave. What is the meaning of your haste? I am Halbarad, Dunadan of the North. We seek Aragorn, son of Arathorn. And you have found him. Aragorn. Okay. So in here we can, well, if you have floating names on, you can see a technology that was introduced with this update, and that is the ability of changing the names of NPCs. So first of all, at first, he was named Hooded Rider, but when he revealed himself as Halbarad, his name changed. And I'm not sure if this feature has been used that much after this update, after update 13, but at least during this update we will find this happen a lot. It is good to see you again, Beriathan. I knew in my heart we would see you once more, but I did not think to find you in the company of my chieftain Aragorn. Much has happened since we parted, and little of it good, but we will need to speak of our respective deeds when there is time to breathe. We have found Aragorn between perils, it seems. He had your help for the first, and he has all of us for the second. May it be enough. Oh guys, yeah, I'm so glad to see you. It was not a long goodbye after all, Beriathan, though the intervening days have been eventful. I think Halbrand keenly felt the burden of his duty after you left us, for he was not sure how best to proceed. But it seems he chose aright, for we have found Aragorn as the words of Galadriel bade us. The sons of Elrond bear messages for him from their father, and Halbrand carries the gift of Arwen. I trust that Aragorn will know what to do with each of these gifts. This is truly an unexpected encounter, Beriathan. I am glad to see you are well, and in the company of Aragorn, no less. Our errand has not ended, though its first goal be now accomplished. Now we must lend what aid we can to Aragorn. Is it true you take the road to Isengard? Whatever other objectives Aragorn has with Saruman, we must add this one as well. The rescue of Lothrandir, my kinsman, if he yet lives. It seems you found Aragorn before we did, Beriathan. Perhaps we should have gone with you. Yeah, maybe. We are well met once again, Beriathan, but in hardship. I sought the treacherous leader of the Falcon clan, but he gave me the slip and escaped into the mountains. He lives still, the life of a coward. You tell Galadriel that Leobrennion's flight brought him into your path and he has been slain. You tell me true? Then he has paid for his crimes. He abandoned some of his own people when he fled, and we left them in a place of peace where they should be safe. I worried that their former chieftain might seek them out and visit upon them further harm, but even Saruman's magic cannot help Leobrennion now. I am satisfied, Beriathan. Thank you, on behalf of my fallen kinsmen, and also for those of his own people he betrayed. Yeah, I knew you would be happy about that, Galadriel. Halbrand has given me much to think about, Beriathan. We have more reasons to converse with Saruman than I believe. I feel confident that we can accomplish anything, Beriathan, now that my kinsmen are here. Can it be that the tides turn in our favor this day? It certainly seems like that way. For now, here we are at the Fords of Isen once again.
I have much to think about and little time in which to do so.
This is an unexpected joy, my friend.
I believed we would see each other again, but I did not know it would be so soon.
Sending you from us was not an easy decision, but I knew Théoden had need of your aid. What sadness that he could not be saved from that fate, but perhaps that too contributed to the resolve of the Eorlingas. The Great Company has done what it set out to do. We have ridden to our chieftain in Rohan, and it seems we have come in time after all. Some of our numbers were lost on the way, but those of us that remain will do everything in our power to ensure that Aragorn can fulfill his destiny. I am glad to see you again, Beriathan.
I have much to think about and little time in which to do so.
This is an unexpected joy, my friend. Had I known they were journeying to find me. Aragorn looks at you wryly. When you spoke to me of the Dunedain, I did not suspect you had trouble with them in recent days, Beriathan. I do not think I would have changed my course had I known, but perhaps that is the power of hindsight. Perhaps it is the wisdom of Elrond behind your silence, my friend. He is never quick to volunteer information, which makes the words of his sons even more curious. I have much to think about, and little time in which to do so.
I am most curious to see what we will find in Isengard.
I spoke briefly with Halbrand, and if I had business within Isengard before now, I counted double. We must find if Lothrandir still lives within the ring, Beriathan. Let Gandalf speak with Saruman for weeks, if that is his desire. My thoughts are for my kinsman. I have not seen him for many years, but Lothrandir has been a friend for longer than that, and I will not abandon him. Let us ride along the road to Isengard. I am most curious to see what it is we will find. Alright. So, yeah, the Grey Company has at long last found Aragorn, but of course, you will realize that at this moment in the books that hadn't happened yet. In the books, the Grey Company finds Aragorn after we leave Isengard. But considering that there is one ranger captive in Orthanc, it's understandable why the Depths made the decision of have Aragorn meeting the Grey Company at this moment. And to be honest with you, the first time I saw this, I was mad, I was furious about what had happened because, I mean, the game goes to great lengths to to be loyal to what the book said. So seeing what they had done with the Great Company, I was not happy about it. And for a long time, I was conflicted with this thought. But, well, yeah, we need to give closure to Lothrandir's story, to the loose ends we have in Isengard, on one hand. On the other hand, you gotta remember that the book, it's supposed to be a transcription, translation of sorts of the Red Book from the West, written by Frodo and Bilbo, using, well, what they heard of the story. So this part was most likely told by Merry. Well, Merry is not with us, but I mean, there is this factor of word of mouth that can make some of these details unreliable. I mean, if you stop to think about it too closely, the narrator in The Lord of the Rings is not as foolproof as it seems at first sight, because it's that a translation of a transcription of something somebody else told you. So maybe, and just maybe, the devs were also playing with this idea that there is a different version of the story that Frodo didn't write down in the Red Book. After I thought about this, it's easier for me to accept what's about to happen. But yeah, for the long time, I was not happy with it. Now, as you can see here, we are right back at the forts. You must climb over this fallen tree to go further west. So, which fallen tree? Not this one, right? There is a fallen tree here. I know. This fallen tree. Which one? God. There is a fallen tree that you will using here to go back to Dunland. That's the way in which the devs decided to connect both areas so that you could cross the Gap of Rohan both ways. So I think if you get close enough to this tree, you will be ported to Dunland. Let us not risk that, but yeah, that's the way. For the time being, we just need to keep riding north until we reach Isengard. And that reminds me too, there is something else in here that we have not done yet. And is this one, this introduction quest that you get when you hit level 90. In the wake of the Battle of the Hernberg, you have received word of vast, startling destruction at Isengard. It is unknown what remains of Saruman's forces in Nan Curunir, but the only reported sightings tell of fewer than 3,000 downlandings fleeing back into their lands. You have been summoned to scout the Wizard's Vale, seek any survivors, and discover what force has brought Isengard to ruin. Yeah, that's the introduction quests to the landscape quests of this new area. And we'll get to it in just a moment. We're not far, right? From Nan Curunir. Plotted Nan Curunir at that. Here we are. You can already see some of the destruction from up here. You can see the wall, the ring of Isengard it's not looking good. And here, a curious stillness covers the land and pools of water stand near the road, and the Pillar of the White Hand was destroyed, as you can see.
Isengard has been much changed since last you beheld it.
You may not recognize it. I dare say Saruman himself does not, though he brought it upon himself. On that we do agree. So yeah, pools of water alongside the road. Okay, and here we have the downlandings, the downlanding refugees, escapees that we were looking for. So what do they have to say about it?
I have naught to say to you, Théoden.
What's this now? Man, raise your weapons, we're not through yet. The landing chief's command is met only with groans of pain and fear by his men.
I do not know what aid you think you can give us.
Stay back, man. Look at what destruction the trees have brought to the Vale. Saruman is undone. They allowed my men and me to flee, but I do not trust them. I know they are still here. I know they're watching us. There is one outside the ring, across the river Isen. I swear, it will not let us leave. You have delayed us long enough, man. If your foolish journey brings you to Isengard, then so be it. We shall not remain long enough for the trees to find us. Man, we go to Downland. Okay, so, at this point, you have two different options. You can proceed north to Isengard, the North Bank, and advance the epic, but this quest back into the wild will also eventually send you to Isengard. So I think we're gonna look for a way of crossing the Isen somewhere around here and look for the end that the downlanding chief was talking about. Like, there is supposedly a path a little bit north, but I think, yeah, this was the bridge that was in place here earlier, but the Ents did destroy it. Let us see if we can find a crossing a little bit further to the northeast. No way, we are scouting the road ahead, so yeah, giving time for Aragorn and the others to come here at their own pace, but we do need to check a couple things. Or at least that's how I'm making sense of the story inside my head. So here we are at this crossing. You remember this crossing, right? This is where Quick Being opened the way for us into Isengard, but now you cannot enter through here. But it's still there, of course. The Oxclan Merchant Camp, I think the location is also there, it should be. But of course there is no camp right now. Who knows, maybe we can double check that just a bit. You have encountered the Ant Quick Beam. Good to see you, Quick Beam. Is that hostage new?
Home, home. You are a hasty foe.
Arum. Oh, little Beriathan. I remember you. Much has changed since we last spoke. More death, more violence, and more of my friends lost. Thankfully, it has finally come to an end, and the land can begin to heal. Soon I must return to the forest, but first, perhaps you can aid me in hindering the tree killer. You should not find it so difficult to enter Isengard this time, my friend.
Let's not be hasty.
There is still the matter of Saruman, Beriathan. The tree killer fled into his tower, for the coward knew what I would have done had I caught him. My brothers and I crushed many orcs, but I do not know if some remain hidden from our sight in Isengard. You are small, and can fit where I cannot. If you could ease my fears, I can begin my journey home. Yeah, you can count on it. So what do we got here? A bundle of fangorn leaves. At least 3 fangorn leaves inside. Yeah. Well, we do. We'll start getting some of those leaves. And that is useful because you'll need some of those leaves to get a new travel skill. But to be honest with you, I'm still not sure if we will be going to this new area of Fangorn that has opened before us. The epic does not take you there. And there are a couple of things to do in there, but not that much. To the stone dins? Through here? Really? Let me check that. But anyway, yeah, I'm still debating on whether or not checking that. Maybe. Not sure yet. What happens? I'm not a big fan of update 13. I think in fact it's the worst update LOTRO has ever seen. The epic in it is really short. I think we will be done with that in the next episode. Really, it's really short. A few quests within Isengard, and that's it. And the same for the landscape quest, a couple of them, but not too much. There's also the fact of the Grey Company, which made me really mad at first. And yeah, the last time I did this, my feelings about this, it was this epic felt more than anything like an excuse to abuse the new technology of changing the NPCs' names, because I didn't get a lot of substance from it last time I did it. So the reason why I don't like it is, yeah, the story here is really short. There's not much to it. The ending for such an epic volume 3 feels a little bit anticlimactic, and afterwards what you are left with one of the worst grinds I have ever been through, with the ends at the Durndingle. You need about 44 days of endless grinding to get to Kindred, and the issue is made all the worse due to the fact that there is a very limited number of repeatable quests with those ends. So truly, last time I did this, I was feeling burnt out by day 10, So you can imagine finishing that was terrible, really. Keep in mind also, at the time, rep boosters didn't exist. So you had to do this the old-fashioned way. And yeah, I mean, I didn't like the grind, I didn't like the quests, I didn't like the rewards. I think it's safe to say I hated it. For the most part, everything at that area of Fangorn. So that's why I'm not a big fan of it, and that's why I'm still debating on whether or not to do this. I think LOTRO has seen some really heavy grinds in future updates as well. But I still think this is the worst update of them all, because you have a huge grind on one hand, and on the other a really short epic. So yeah, I didn't like it very much the first time. But enough rambling, we are finally here at the Gate of Isengard. And look who we have here. The very walls of Isengard have been damaged by some mighty force. Yeah, I can see that. Let me first grab the Stable Master.
What is happening to these lands?
Grab the milestone just in case, you never know.
Hello there! It's been a long time.
I hope you're well. I hope you are well.
Welcome to Isengard.
Last time I had any news of you, I was tracking you across Fangorn, so what happened to you? The look on your face is quite a thing to see, my confused friend. Welcome to Isengard. You have had a number of adventures, I expect, and would you believe that we have as well? We have all come a long way from Lothlorien, haven't we? Much of the trip was rather unpleasant, owing to our new friends Ugluk and Grishnak. I suppose they're old friends now. We shan't be seeing them again, and that is a relief. Treebeard and Quickbeam are nice fellows, if a little odd, and I do believe I have grown several inches taller. That is true. Pippin laughs at your confused look. I don't mean metaphorically, Beriathan, though perhaps I have at that. I mean that I actually have grown taller.
I think Pip is trying to confuse you on purpose.
He gets the chance to do that so infrequently that he delights in it whenever the opportunity presents himself. It seems we have gone from the fire back into the frying pan, for once. Pip and I were dragged halfway across Rohan by our captors, and though we have arrived at Isengard, it was in the strong hands of a friend and not at the whips of Saruman's works. It was Treebeard who brought us here, you see, and he's... well, he is Fangorn and Fangorn is he, apparently. This was more difficult than I expected when I began to tell it. We found some pipeweed inside the gatehouse. How about you bring some more out here and I will try to tell it properly? Yeah, sounds like a plan. The gatehouse of Isengard. Do you remember the last time we were here? We were trying to sneak past the guards. Well, the time for secrecy is now long ended. The gatehouse is filled with rubble, and the flood waters have reached here too. Now, enter the gatehouse. Look for the orcs on one hand, but also look for the pipeweed. Slain by grievous wounds or crushed by debris, no orcs remain here. Okay, no orcs remain here. That's good news. Collected the pipeweed. Alright. Now, there is something else that I think Beriathan is bound to find here at the gatehouse of Isengard. Because, you might remember, after Beriathan escaped Isengard, he escaped in such a hurry that most of his gear he left behind. He didn't have enough time to recover it. And yeah, you might remember we came back to the Grey Company wearing the clothes we got during our imprisonment in Isengard, and then the Grey Company gave us new Grey Company garbs. And then when we parted ways with them and we came to the Great River, that's when we started using our ranger inspired outfit because truly Beriathan had left his Citadel guard gear was taken from him when he was imprisoned in Isengard. And where was it kept? Well, the story I am creating inside my head has Beriathan finding at long last all his Citadel guard gear inside the gatehouse. Too much of a coincidence, maybe a fortunate one at that, but if the pipeweed was stored safely within the gatehouse, why couldn't his Citadel guard outfit? So we are thankful towards Théoden and the Rohirrim for lending us this armor to protect ourselves during the Battle of the Hornburg. That was very useful, but now we're talking. And we're coming back to Isengard, triumphantly victorious, and, well, we got to get our stuff back. So yeah, I think Merry and Pippin were very glad they found some pipeweed, but we are even happier now we got all our gear back, our cloak, our shield, our mithril helm, for God's sake, and our tunic with the livery of Elendil. All of this is very valuable, and Beriathan was of course very sad to lose it, but now that we have recovered it, that's another story entirely. Aragorn nods at you but says nothing, and Pippin smiles at you amiably.
Allow me to refill my pipe, and I can resume my story.
Ah, very good, my friend. This is a very high quality pipeweed of the sort they grow in the south parting back home. Allow me to refill my pipe and I can resume my story. I was going to tell you about Rivert and the Ents, I believe. Let me see. But it seems that Aragorn is troubled about something. Perhaps you should speak with him first, and I will continue my story when he has a happier look about him.
That pipeweed was not grown at Isengard. It came from the Shire.
That pipeweed was not grown in Isengard, and it does not bear a resemblance only to that of the south parting. That weed has come from the Shire, which means that Saruman has had his eye upon that land for some while at least. I do not like that at all. If our fortune holds, the wizard will have no further chance for mischief. His interest in the Shire may have extended only to its pipeweed.
I do not doubt Saruman's ability to strike, even now.
Saruman seems to be in a tough position, but I would counsel caution in our dealings with him. I do not doubt his ability to strike even now, and a quarter piece can still do great harm. Gandalf went ahead to the base of Orthanc, find him and see what he thinks of the situation. Alright, so... No, it seems reputation tomes were added with update 13 and not update 14. That was my bad. But back in the day, they were still very hard to find, so I still stand with what I said. Getting Kindred initially with the Ents of Durandingle was a pain. It took a while for the reputation tomes to come to the skirmish camp, if I remember correctly. But anyway, that's the story for another day.
Pip and I met Treebeard after we escaped from the orcs.
As you can see here, we have unlocked a new interlude in which Merry and Pippin will tell us everything about the Ent mood and the Ents, of course, but I think that's a story best left for the next episode. For the time being, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.